What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? Oh my gosh, guys. It's your boy, GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. Other than the hex pump, nuclear hex pump going on, guys, right now. If you don't know anything about what's going on with this show, crypto, anything, just know there's this thing called HEX. It's going up, everything else going down at this moment. So we're really excited, obviously. Obviously, this is just small term data, but you know, the pumps past resistance lines always get GRC bullish. And we have a lot to talk about. I wasted about 3 hours watching a stream last night where I got no alpha. I had my notepad out the whole time. I was like, I'm going to be like Sam and keep my notepad out. And literally, I was thinking this. I was like, I'm going to compete to get better notes than Sam. And I have one note from the whole thing. One note. And it's about freaking like the timing of, so, you know, I didn't enjoy the stream personally. It was good to see Richard just gab up. But like, to be honest, watching all the double standards of these girls as they like S on Richard's D while he shits on them directly. And then like anyone who did that in the community, they would like cancel in every way, shape, and form. If I said the same things that Richard said on stream, you girls would report me until my accounts were banned in history. So I think it's important that we at least let people know, like, there is a power dynamic here. Richard's clearly a billionaire, very successful. People treat him different. But for all these girls, social justice warriors and shit, it's like, come on, guys. And I hate to be brash, and I talk too much, and bullish is going to pull me off any second, guys. It's your boy, GRC. I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. We're going to be talking about real crypto. 99% of this episode will be about crypto. And Sam, I'm thinking liquidity, arbitrage, these words might get thrown around a little bit. Okay. We're having a good time. Me and Sam are so pumped up about crypto, period. No man, no woman, no thing going on in our life. When Sam wakes up, he's thinking numbers and blockchain and what's next. What can I think about? Me too. We're really new at this, guys. It's super fun and exciting for us. This is the most passionate I've felt about anything in my life. And guys, it's going to be a really good episode. It's your boy, GRC. I'm out of here. Here's the song. The Hex song.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Oh man, I'm reading some of these comments.
I haven't read any yet. I was looking up Hex Uniswap Hex.vision.
This
what do we got? How you doing, brother?
I don't know if we should even post that comment, but I think it is hilarious.
No, don't post it yet. If it's immature, don't post it, please.
Okay, cool. So we won't post this. So what's up, brother? How you doing? I'm doing freaking awesome this morning. I am extremely excited about crypto in general. Like, I don't know how many times in the past 60 days I've woken up in the middle of the night, I take a piss, I get back into bed, and I'm just thinking about crypto, and I'm like, fuck. Sam, like start meditating, try to meditate, and I'll start meditating, and then like 63 seconds later, I'm like, wow, if I put in liquidity on multiple, and I'm start thinking about all these different things related to crypto, and I'm like, damn, this is so exciting. I'm super excited to see how this is going to be play out, and as I dive in and put money into these different things, it's awesome. Hopefully today I actually should be providing liquidity for the first time. In the comments.
I love
right
that.
here.
I love that, by the way.
Right? Nobody. I bet. And I don't know, but you have it, right? And I bet most of the people in the comments have not provided liquidity yet. And I bet most of the. And I'm not trying to say like I'm cool. It's just I'm like ready to fucking go. Like I'm ready.
Dude, I'm ready to go. I don't care what happens. I need action. You know, like I'm at this. I want action. I don't care where it comes from right now. I don't care if it's $1, $10, $100. I just want some action as far as like. Give me something to look at. Give me something to read. Give me something to really dig into that's going to be useful in my life. Yes, the test net. I could still be digging into that all day long. Me and Sam both, being gym rats, neglect the test net. But I mean, I've done it many times. But Sam, I don't know if
I started using. Well, I haven't started using. I don't have any test pulse, so I'm like, this is pointless. I can't fucking do anything. So I need to get some test pulse or figure out how to do that in order to.
Yeah, you got to use the faucets, the same faucets that you use for regular pulse.
Yeah. So it's like I'm in there. I got the wall set up.
I love the buy wall to get the coins too. Like, why don't they just give you the coins? But I know they want to see how they want to see how the ecosystem works, right? So they want it to actually be like you have to do some sort of effort to get the coins out because in real life you'd have to put some value in to get the coins out, right? So there is that. Like, you're just the same guy who won't buy a skin or buy something extra on a video game just because. But there's no functionality to it, right? It's just for like looks.
What's the point?
I wouldn't either, but some people love that shit. Even some broke, poor, some people love that shit. So we're just all different kinds of guys. How much test pulse do you need? Graphics got you, bro. Dude, everyone.
Hey, bro. Okay, cool. So I have. This is awesome. Crypto graphics. I don't know how much you need. 10. I have no idea. 10,000.
Send him like just enough to dip his little toes in. I guess.
Can I put my my like fake MetaMask account thing into the chat?
Any public address that you'd like.
Okay. I'm gonna.
They say Sam Stolt is way louder than GRC. Thank you, John May, for saying that. It's good when people actually point out the audio differentials. So when I listen back, I don't get absolutely neurotic.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? This is. I don't think I've told you this yet either, but we hopefully this coming week I will have a new microphone and not something that I got free on an airplane to use for quality of audio. So you guys press the thumbs up for the new microphone. I was asking bullish questions about which ones and how to pick a right one because I know nothing about audio quality. Clearly, from the free microphone I get from a plane, using that to make 10,000 pieces of content. But we do have a microphone that should be here at some point this coming week.
Awesome, awesome. So as far as like, we'll touch on the RA stream for 5 minutes just to get it out of everyone's system. You watched it. I don't. What is your take on it? You're not a Hexican necessarily, as far as someone who's been completely immersed in this. You're just watching it, right? Like you're just look. Is there any information? What's going on here? How's everything? And what did you think about that stream?
Well, I was excited to see if I could pick up any little bits and pieces on there. But in all honesty, I was like, oh my God, this is like, I stopped watching. I literally stopped. I was like, this is not the shit that I want to fucking waste my time on. I'd rather waste my time on something. And that's not to say some people don't like that shit. Some people like that shit, Sam. And I can't relate. I promise you I can't because I thought it was disgusting. And I'm just speaking from my heart. Like, and I'm a dude who's done some disgusting ass things in my life too. Very disgusting ass things. But like, I just thought it was a waste of time, really. Like, I wish there was more paying attention before the stream to set it up properly. So when everyone speaks, like when you run a stream, you have to make sure you run a stream. And it's important that you really make sure that the audio before everyone comes in is good. And that everyone has structure.
It was just like a banana mess. There was no structure. But, you know, it's good to see people getting loose, having a good time. I think Crypto Stylist, I think Fashion Coder had a couple great questions. There was a couple good questions in there, actually. SJ had some great questions, and shout out to SJ for putting all of Sci-Vive on audio on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's huge.
I haven't gotten through all of the little chapters yet, but I've been getting through some of them, and I was like, oh, this is interesting stuff. I like this stuff that's being said in here. It sounds intelligent.
No, it's very detailed, and you know me. I just like when people like, oh, this sentence actually means what the whole sentence means.
Yeah,
like,
I want to just ask a quick question to touch on this because Cryptographics sent over from the test wallet. So first of all, thank you so much. How do I see that in the test wallet? Or like, how do I see that in my fake wallet? Like, what do I need to do? Somebody in the comments is going to know, and they're going to be like, dude, just press this and then press this and add this to your wallet. I think I need to add the test pulse to my wallet. Is that what you did, GRC?
Well, you have to use a faucet in there. There's
no, he said he just sent it to my wallet.
Oh, well then, yeah, you just click over and it's going to be in there. Just do it after. You just click over to the pulse chain. And
in terms of the network, and then it'll be there?
Yeah, and it'll link up. I'll show you afterwards. It's really easy. And then right when you go from that point on, you'll just start playing with it. Like that's when you, okay, I press this one. I can put a little liquidity in here. Okay, I can single-sided stake this here. And then it'll show you like the ins and outs. It's really easy. It's easy, but like you have to sit there and just like
play with
work through each piece of it. Hey, great to see the Amish kid in here. I always like to see HP Morgan. How you doing, everyone? Hex Siren, good morning. How are you? My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Hex Siren. She is the best person ever. Monica Mofit Meals. We're so excited for the fitness challenge tomorrow, guys. Thank you, Graphics, for sending that to your wallet. I mean, that's really.
I appreciate that.
He doesn't even know that you could probably do that. He was probably like, "Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Somebody could send me some." Right. So, life. There are guys and girls who make rules for guys, and yeah. So I think that's true. Like. And I don't think anything Richard Hart did was out of line. That would be like putting me in front of 11 girls and telling me to do my raw, unfiltered opinion. Not good. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. 0 people in the room would like that conversation. I can promise you. So I try to avoid those situations, right, Sam? But like, I just thought it was funny because I kept putting myself in RH's spot as a normal guy, right? Those girls would have made sure I never touched the internet again. They would have made sure without a shadow of the doubt, they canceled me and made sure no other men would look at my shit ever again because of their own egos until someone with bigger balls than them shows up.
I think if it was on like CNN or Twitter, for sure. But I don't know.
It's not really the RH is not the point. Like I agreed with RH for the most part. He was being honest. Those were his takes. Sam, were those not his takes to the questions?
Yeah.
Like he was answering the questions, but you're asking about chicks and stuff to a billionaire. Like you're not going to get the answer you want.
It is interesting. Don't you think that like so much energy, I guess, is like focused in that direction? Well, because I guess it's not for me, right?
It's not for me either, dude. I don't get it. But like at the same time, we're from that industry where it's like, maybe we've already experienced a lot of those feelings. Of like ego and I'm not saying like, I'm just saying in a micro way, like we've been to the gym showing people our muscles, trying to get validation earlier in our lives, right? There was times where I was going to the gym just so girls would like me. That's how it all starts, right? It evolves over time, but it's kind of like the same thing, right? Like it's just girls are, you know, if a girl's not going to be friendly to me and we're going to be friends, like I don't really want to deal with her, to be honest. It's too much work. I just want to work. And maybe RH is saying, I've worked for 30 years. I don't want to work that much anymore. I would be like, makes sense to me, right? Like I haven't worked for but a few years really hard. So I think everyone's just at different points in their life where your mind kind of wants to be. And I think we happen to be is just like, maybe he already focused on crypto and like the business side enough for him to be satisfied. And maybe we'll get to that point too, where we're like, maybe we should learn how to fish or something. You know, rather than worrying about our next business venture.
Correct.
Maybe
no, you're right. I agree.
Deep sea fishing and learn how to make and cut fish ourselves, and we would be like,
or gardening, or lawn care, or some other.
And I hope one day that I can get to that point.
I don't know. I don't know. I definitely see it being potential that like life changes. Like I wouldn't mind having a kid, at some point or multiple kids. So I could see my life changing in a lot of ways, right? But I don't know because I'm not there. So good point though, in terms of like perspective, right? Because you don't know as you evolve through life, the same shit that was important to you when you were 20 years old or 18 years old is not the same shit that is important to you today.
But what
Because
makes you
a
care about
goal.
your real purpose rather than your ego? When does that switch? And I know it's on and off, right? Like, okay, obviously you can go back, but like I was so 100% focused on my ego before all of this. And now I'm just so like to the point where it's like I've seen so many people come in and out of my life that loved me and then hated me the next day. It's like I don't give a shit anymore about everyone on the outside. I have no choice as a man. I just have to work. Right? Is that it? But that's all I want to do.
What was that? You had mentioned something at the very beginning of what you were just saying, but I
It's like
forgot.
when do you switch from like ego
Oh,
to like
oh. So as soon, at least for me, right? As soon as you realize there's a waste of fucking time, like
dude,
the
that's what
ego
this
is
too,
a
the day
waste
you
of time.
realize you might want a family one day. One day.
And it's so like having an ego involved in any conversation is an absolute and utter waste of time. It's like, hey, let's go to the park that is 6 miles away, that is south. Let's drive north, then we'll drive to the left, and then we'll drive to the right, and then we'll go south. Like that's the dumbest thing in the world, and that's what happens when you put your ego in any conversation. It's like let's get to the point, and then the ego. If you decide to use your ego in it, it's like let's go this way, let's go this way, let's go that way, let's go any other way than to the fucking point.
Dude, but like
And
right when your ego gets involved, you're like 300% behind me. Do you know what I mean? Like once Sam's ego gets involved in our business, he's so far behind me because I'm not even considering it. I'm not even like it's not even on the board. Just like him, like if I was crying about my feelings, there is not one part of Sam that would give a fuck. I know it. And I'm not if it was stupid. Obviously, if like someone got hurt or something, like he would care. But like if it was like, hey, my girl broke up with me a few weeks ago and it's really digging into me, he'd be like, dude, don't care. Like in it,
he's
yeah,
right.
but
I do care
it's
about
the
him, but
truth.
it's like you
He's
got to move
telling
on.
me like no one cares too. Like he's kind of letting me know, like I like you, and I'm telling you, I don't care. So it's important, like as a man, like my girl broke up with me 3 weeks ago. Have I mentioned it once to you, Sam? Other than in like a completely constructive way?
We
Never.
don't even really talk about it at
Nope.
all.
Because what can I do, Sam?
Move on.
Thank you. And do the fitness challenge. The fitness challenge happened, guys. CryptoFitnessChallenge.com. We're so excited, me and Sam are. We've been working all morning with Bullish, trying to hammer out some of the details about fitness. Guys, we are so excited to get this community more involved in fitness. Like what me and Sam really do bring to the table. And I'm starting to realize this about myself too. I love self-help, dude. Like, and I always have, but I was doing it for more selfish reasons before. But now I've arrived to this point where I feel more confident in my life and I'm not have all these attachments. And we'll talk about attachments later. But I do want to run the crypto fitness ad. Do you want to add anything about the crypto fitness challenge, Sam? So maybe something to spice it up. I don't know. What do we got?
I'm excited. First of all, I'm very excited. I'm gonna go do my weigh-in later today to get the weigh-in to start my cut. And I'm excited to go on at this with everybody else because it's you guys who are inspiring to me. When I tell this to my girlfriend, when I see other people and they'll message me or say things to me that how they started taking action in their life from a fitness standpoint, or they let go of their ego and they started chasing after whatever it was important to them, and they're making their business grow, or their relationship is growing, or their fitness goals are moving towards them. Like that is inspiring to me. So I'm going to get more value out of this fitness competition than other people may, because
Oh
when
my
I see
God. I'm
people,
so jacked up about fitness right now.
when I see everybody else making progress, like that inspires me so much because I'm so happy for other people because they don't realize it's so easy to
They
make
don't
progress.
realize. No, it's right there. You just said it. They just don't realize that you're a gallon of water and 45 minutes of walking per day in a very doable fitness regimen with beautiful food away from all you need is the knowledge and the confidence. You need the confidence with someone like me and Sam. We're very open-minded. We understand we're not necessarily like everyone. Like I tell Sam all the time, I try to remind him, I'm like, you're a robot. So shut up about being part of like whenever
Yeah,
he
when did you realize that? Like I remember when I realized that I wasn't like a lot of other people, but I knew there was other people out there like me, but it was like the people I was spending time with weren't like me.
I realized that I got sober for 6 years, and when I got back from sobriety, they were doing the same partying that they were doing when I stopped 6 years ago. The same rooms, the same songs, not the same songs, obviously, but like the same games, the same people. And I said, oh, I just did 6 years of progress and came back to the same people. I said, why don't I just keep doing the progress thing? And then I realized, like, you know,
Yeah.
when did
I was
Let's run this ad before I get my giggles out. We worked a lot this morning on the fitness challenge. We've been talking about it a lot. We're excited. Let's run the ad. Sam, gather your thoughts. When it comes to crypto, we're going to move a little bit more into that like life responsibility piece that I was kind of bringing in earlier. Like what you put on your plate is your responsibility. So you're never allowed to bring it up. That's kind of what I always say, Sam. Like, you know, when people are always like, I have all these bills, these random ass bills. And you're like, well, I don't have any random ass bills. You know why? Because I did my shit properly. Guys, here's the fitness challenge ad. Get pumped up. Biceps in the chat, Sam. Throw some up. We haven't thrown them up together in a while.
Oh, I gotta like come forward.
I'm so wide. My frame is so wide. My frame is so freaking wide.
Let's go.
It's your boy. Every time the music stops, I want to do the little "It's your boy GRC" thing again. I'm like, turn it off, Scott.
Okay, cool. I was reading a message. So let's talk about crypto.
Damn, crazy amounts of biceps in the chat real quick. Let's highlight some biceps real quick. Hemp Hex, great to see you. Lazy Hexagon, good to see you. We know you're just joking about that lazy hexagon part. Come on now. Erwin, great to see you as always. One of the gods, Hex Siren, fitness goddess. Monica, meal goddess. She's the most meals goddess. And we got Bam, Bandit Mitt, credit. What's up? I never stretch Jawa. Actually, if you never stretch, you're going to miss some points on the fitness challenge daily points because there's stretching involved. Great to see everyone. Totally on brand. Thank you so much, Crypto. Listen, I'm a professional. You know what I mean? Bowles. Good morning, guys. Graph Writer. Great to see you. 35 ab crunches every time the song plays. Hey, I'm not a huge guy on ab crunches personally, but
how about some burpees? There was a lot of people who wanted to lose weight. Do some burpees instead of ab crunches.
Hey, we got a dumper, folks. 17,299. Seems like we printed a big old red candle. 2 big old red candles now that I think about it. But that's okay, guys. Hex to the moon. Pulse chain coming out soon. Again, guys, please don't swing trade on these freaking things. It could go back down to 10 cents in 1 second. It could go up to 25 cents in 1 second. Just take it easy. Let's talk about it. Let's make a game plan. Sam, you're going to provide some liquidity. Let's talk about it.
I want the price of Hex to go down. I know everybody's
Me too,
excited about it going
personally.
up, but I want it to go down.
I'm not going to front. This show we're 100%, and I would if 2 cent Hex sounds pretty nice.
I would love that. That would be fantastic.
Sam, don't you know that we're talking about digital things as an asset now, though? Like you're like,
right?
oh, that you have now officially, like, think about what Richard has created and crypto in general. The people that have created it, they have made a digital spreadsheet with numbers on it, but now there is this thing in your head, like a 2-cent hex would be lit. Like, what? A dude convinced us that a 2-cent imaginary freaking print on a paper, but it's not even fake. It's absolutely real. It's disgustingly awesome.
But the framework got laid like whatever 100-something years ago with stock, and they just gave out pieces of paper that said you owned, X number of shares in a company, and that got laid as like the foundation for how things were going to be going forward. And now it's just all just fucking made up shit, which everything is just made up shit. But I think it's awesome. I think it would be awesome
like,
if there was
I love how they did, because I remember thinking about crypto and thinking, how is it a thing, right? Like, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. That whole beginning thing when you get into finance and you have no idea. You're like, what is finance? Like, because it's nothing really. If you really think about it, it's just guys at a computer, guys and gals at a computer. So this guy was basically like, I'm going to make a brand. So it's a brand, right? Let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. Bitcoin is a brand, right? And it's going to be, I'm going to make you think about this brand all the time to the point where you're willing to spend $49,000 for the right to own one, when you could own less or more, one Bitcoin. Like the power in having one Bitcoin, not to me, I would never, but like in general, the power of having one whole Bitcoin is today very powerful. Even though I don't think there's merit personally. I think you'll get outpaced by inflation almost.
But the brand, though, it is effectively, it's a brand.
I get so FOMO'd about the brand. Like I do, because Bitcoin, imagine being the first digital cryptocurrency ever, and then you get the brand name. But don't be fooled, Sam Stolt. We are only around at this time, so we can't see in hindsight. Imagine in 40 years if we're like, you really thought Bitcoin was going to stick, you re-rees. Sorry for
but I think like
saying that.
There's you could just listen to the stream last night and you can get lots of those.
I said re-read. Yeah, I didn't even say the whole word.
I think that Bitcoin will definitely hold value in the future for a really, really, really long time. Who knows in 50 years? But like, just because what you said, the branding of Bitcoin is so strong that like people are going to continue to hold on to that.
But Sam, facts are facts, and when things get outpaced, you have to. I mean, you can only put so many $1,000s on the internet without taking a gander at the chart and some extrapolated data, right?
It's like this cryptographics. When people think of crypto, they assume it's Bitcoin.
I know, and that's why I get so much FOMO, and that's why when a part of this show and my brand moving forward, I just want to make crypto just like going to the gym. Like, oh, crypto tank top, yeah, normal. Hex, oh, cool, normal. It's a brand, right? I just want a normal. That's why when I started this Hex in the morning, I thought that brand would punch through a little harder in the algo than it did. I could tell people that weren't in Hex didn't want to click on it. So I said I have to switch it, right? I can't only.
Well, the brand is just not there yet. It's really, 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 really strong. It's just microcosm. It's a teeny fucking.
It's a 3-letter, the best domain name in crypto. Hex. Come on. That's awesome.
It's good. It is good.
It's really good. You can't misspell it. You can't. There's nothing you can miss.
So how does that? Because like you look at if you talk to anybody that has just a teeny little bit of, they know what like Ethereum is and they know what Bitcoin are. And if you just talk to them about the top, say 20 tokens, like maybe 50% of those you will have heard of, even if you have no understanding what it is. But Hex will not be one of those top 20. And it's interesting to see that that's the case. You have something that's in the top 20, and yet the populace that knows crypto has no effing idea what Hex is. Like when we started connecting, I actually knew what ADA was and what Solana. I heard of them. I had no idea what they were. I heard of Doge. I heard of like Shiba. I heard of like a bunch of the top 20.
The highly marketed, the ones that had the most marketing dollars, probably.
Correct. And just like people were talking about, right?
It was just to get the ones that were going viral.
But that is not the case with Hex.
But
Like,
why,
you talk
Sam?
to-
In your
you-
opinion, and I'll correct you if I think anything's wrong. Give me your full synopsis on why, because that's a good point. The money is there in Hex. The money is in the system. Respectable dollars are in the system if you look at Etherscan. Straight up. The volume's there. I mean, it's definitely low. I mean, the liquidity's definitely low, but it doesn't matter. We've obviously learned that makes no fucking difference.
Correct.
It only propels you further, faster, if no one's selling. So I don't want to get all the way down that. But what were we saying a second ago? I got to get back on that.
About the top 20 tokens and those.
Oh
have
yeah.
much
So in
stronger
your
brands.
opinion, Sam, this could be a good clip. In your opinion, why is Hex marketing wise in the position it is in? It has this uber sick, nasty, amazing community, but like in the public eye, there is absolutely negative press. But anyone who really knows crypto knows that it's not bullshit. If you know another human that really understands crypto a little bit, Hex is not bullshit right away. They know it because it's clear as day.
I think the same reason that there's a lot of people who want to drop body fat. I think that's the same reason there's a lot of people who want to put a muscle. It's fucking simple. People don't want the simple, the truth.
Oh,
right? Like it's this thing is awesome, right? If you want to drop body fat, you got to eat less calories, bro. Like increase that's either eating less, walking more, or doing some type of activity more, or some combination of it. That's pretty fucking simple, right? Putting on these things are so like it's the best thing. Requires a lot more like spin to it, or because it's like, oh wow, this is really, really, really.
it's
amazing.
detailed. It's not a sham. It's not abs in 15 minutes.
Correct, where you have Doge, right? Which this thing's going to the moon, or Shiba, or whatever. Like ADA
Sam,
has all this
many
crazy.
men that I know got rich off Doge.
And then there's value.
So it's so hard to be like, what? Like I know people that truly changed their life from Dogecoin.
And I said the same thing the other day about Hedron, right? But everything, even scam coins have utility. If anything, it's to teach fuckers that there's more of that out there than you realize. That you should pay closer attention to what you put your money in.
Meme coins are there to teach you about speculative value. That's why meme coins are there. Meme coins are the US dollar. Literally. No, seriously, Sam, listen.
I like this. I like it. Keep going.
No, literally, and I'd never thought about really saying any of this shit, obviously, but meme coins are the US dollar. It's a peg that means nothing. Obviously, meme coins go up because they collect inflation value due to the supply and blah, 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 people buying it. And the dollar is the same thing, though. No utility. It's printed by a man. Or
arbitrary.
A group of men.
Yep.
Zero utility. But what do meme coins do better? They market. They say, hey, we have a cool dog. And all your friends, we can go to this website and we can make money and we can have coins and we can talk and we can switch it for ETH. Sam, you can swap. You can bridge it. You can bridge it to US dollar. You can bridge it to Hex.
I turned 4. Yeah, it's a really good point, dude. I really like that point.
True shit.
Yeah.
Like this is the reality, like of crypto that people don't want to talk about because nobody has the respect of the community. But we're starting to, right? We're starting to have the respect of the community because we're being honest and open-minded 100%. I'm trying to learn everything, and I'm trying not to be judgmental, but at the same time, I'm going to call it how I see it. Like I'm here. I'm like a journalist now, in my opinion, of some sort.
The meme coins are what fiat is to crypto. It is the meme coin is to crypto. It's like they're the same thing. It's like the fiat version of crypto is meme coins, and then when like the digital yuan and like the US crap dollar comes out or whatever, like it's just gonna be the same thing. But in the digital world, you have shitty scams out there or just things that don't provide a tremendous amount of utility and value, right? Other than their ability to market and get like a lot of attention.
Fashion Coder, I thought funny enough, it was you, my internet girlfriend, had the best questions on the show last night. And I thought Crypto Stylist had some good questions. And I also thought SJ had some. Well, I always appreciate SJ because that book, having that on audio kind of changed my life a little bit at least, because I love that book. And I wouldn't have read it.
Did you hear? So there was a girl that was like in the right about this section of the video. He mentioned about a lot of lighting on her. I have no idea what her name was. and she asked about the DAO, right, and his voting, and that was interesting because that was something new that I hadn't heard. When she was trying to ask in a roundabout way, like, how the fuck are you going to vote because you're controlling the DAO for Paul Sachs incentive token, and he goes on a 5-minute rant about how he doesn't like DAOs, and it's probably why it's structured in a way where the DAO is the only thing the DAO impacts is the incentive token, from what he was saying last night in Paul Sachs, because he's not a fan of DAOs. And I agree with some of the points.
I have so many questions about DAOs, dude. I don't know where to start. Do you know enough to get into a back and forth about it?
I found this thing. It's several pages long,
because
about
I've
DAOs.
never been in a coin where a DAO I had any idea about. I know what a DAO is. I understand that it's a voting mechanism where you have the higher holders in the coin get a higher majority of the vote for said internal decisions.
So like
for the coin. That's what I get. Like, what are the decisions, guys? So in the comments,
yeah, and how are those proposed? Like,
exactly.
How do you?
Is this a sham, like, of some sorts, or is it really like? Because come on, Sam, does this sound like? It sounds like the dude with the most money just does the rules.
Well,
I mean, can we just? Why are we calling?
You already know the answer.
I want a DAO coin. It's like, yeah, I own 90% of it, so sick DAO.
You just bought 10. You just bought 10,000, dude. You get 10,000 votes. I own 100 million of them. But
you think I'm going to let Sam and Bullish vote on my project with a majority of the coins in 10 years when we hardly know each other and we all have different? If we don't know each other, let's say we all have 5 kids and we're doing 100 different things, and then it's like, oh, these guys have like decision making in like the protocol of Uniswap. Like, what fucking world are we living in where random dudes with a lot of money just get to make the rules?
But dude, it's literally what we've been living in for the last 100 years, dude. 1,000 years. It's literally
the same thing, dude.
Right? It's the same exact thing.
Dude, I need to smoke some weed. This is getting wild. What's up, fellas? Hey, real quick, let me read some comments. I love you guys. Jerry, thank you so much. Between all I do get a little bit of hate, but mostly love, guys, and I appreciate all the love. I'm gonna try to be nicer to people moving forward. Like, if anyone heard me talking to Pulse Dogecoin yesterday on the spaces, I was being really nice to him. He's a young guy, and some people would have thought I was being mean to him, but I was being really nice to him because I should have literally called him out way worse. But I told him, hey, dude, you're young, but you can't come up in here and just say whatever you want. Like, the dude was out of control. But again, like, we can all be respectful to each other. There's no reason, just because I don't have like ego hate. Like, most people that hate me, Sam, they hate me in like a very like aggressive way. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really hate other people aggressively because I'm not a jealous little bitch. It's like, I have shit to do. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, Scott, he has abs, he works out, and he goes to bed on time. I hate him. Literally.
But that's when we talk about the ego, right? Because the ego is getting involved. I before we talked this morning at 8 o'clock, right? And when we finished up around 9, I had like, I don't know, 100 responses to get through on. I think we should read through this comment when I'm done in a second, because I think this was also.
What's up, fellas? Had to laugh when Richard was trying to send the ladies your way talking about your 6-packs. Yeah, that was, hold on one second. That was
Hey, does anybody know that clip or like the exact time of when that?
No, I remember the whole thing. He was like, there's some guys in the fitness community that have this crypto fitness challenge, and they have like 6-packs, and they're all, he was kind of alluding that we were on Twitter and stuff. And I think everyone knew who he was talking about. Like, but then he was like, the crypto fitness challenge. They immediately were like, rah, 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 like freaking CZ was on there drunk as piss. Like, I don't know her much, but like, come on, like, you could have been a little bit more chill. Your boy was trying to get a show going.
The TikTok thing was
let that roll.
The TikTok thing was interesting too, because he also mentioned the clip without saying my name, but when he posted about TikTok, Hexagon's doing a good job, that he got in contact with somebody through there. Shortly after he posted it, because the information I track, like, because I make those videos like Pulse X and Pulse Chain, like, where are we at in terms of like macro level data. Everybody's like, oh, this is going to do a 10x, 100x, 1000x. But like, let's look at the actual data to see what people are paying attention to. And it's 12 million views plus on the hashtag. So I just took a screenshot and posted it in there. He's like, yeah, and apparently there's 12 million views of the thing on TikTok. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's actually paying attention to some of the stuff that's getting posted. That's cool. I mentioned I saw that yesterday when he was going through that.
Dude, Richard, if you're watching this, dude, you gave them like an hour and a half. If you give us 20 fucking minutes to talk to you, we will hammer out some serious 20 minutes, dude. Your channel, my channel, Sam's channel, freaking Zoom call, private. Like me and Sam could come up with some really creative questions if I knew I could ask him some,
Well, I know exactly how I would approach it, but I'm curious. And then I'll tell you, like, so if
approach what as far as asking questions?
In terms of, I would, because he talks about fitness and how that's something that he's not doing, right? And Richard Hart does. So shout out to a fashion coder. What's good? I hope you're doing amazing, girl.
Easy, Sam, easy.
Careful, fashion coder. Don't.
Everyone thinks I'm being
shouldn't say hi to me anymore. I don't want to get me jealous.
I'm obviously joking a little bit, guys, about fashion coders. She's really cool. I love her content.
So I would actually ask and understand why somebody says something is like they're not doing, like in terms of their life, like, hey, fitness is something that's important, right? And what you're consuming. And if you have all this money and you're not taking care of that, like what stories are you telling yourself about why you're not actually taking care of your health in terms of like the foods you put into your mouth and those types of things? Because once you start taking care of that kind of stuff, it also has a ripple effect in other areas of life. So that would be brought out.
Let's not assume that he's never taken care of it, but I would assume
I'm not correct. I agree.
But I'm going to assume, and he could obviously say like, oh, there's a time in my life where I was super fit. He could easily say that. I have no idea about his background or anything, but knowing about the video game life and in the dev life and all that stuff, we know we're bodybuilder dudes. We know those, like, there's different people, right? And we know the devs that go to the gym. Like, I know that they're very the same kind of people. They're very similar. He seems like the guy who maybe has switched on that and just went like totally money, like this is my angle. But now the only problem is, and I love Richard Hart, by the way. Like, he's taught me so much that I could never not respect this guy. We're talking about health now, cardiovascular health. We're talking about plaque. You know what I mean, Sam? We're not really talking about like.
Well, especially look at, you're saying you're super proud that you raised 27. By the way, I agree with that comment from Motley. I want to know about the tokenomics.
I want to know about the incentive.
But 100%, that's going to be so interesting.
The incentivization or the tokenomics on the incentive token.
So when you are super proud of raising $27 million and you brag about it, right? And you talk about longevity and you talk about these types of things, and then you don't do that in your own life.
But like, he says it like out loud. So how do you take that when he says it? Like, he's very clear
in terms of what?
Like, he says straight up, I know that when I go to McDonald's, it's bad. Or like he alluded to something like that.
So that's what I would dive into. So understand what's going on here. Yes, correct. What's going on here?
But what if he's like overloaded at work and he just doesn't care?
Cool. Well, then you have money. You can have answers to solve those problems. Period.
So you think that little gray area of laziness in his
hire a fucking chef. It's not that costly. Yeah, they'll cook fucking amazing food for you that's in line with your diet that tastes better than the garbage you're eating. It's not hard.
I know, but Sam, it's hard to say because we see so many people, Sam. And I know it's not hard, and I know that I need you to be open-minded with me real quick. There's a lot of people in my life that I respect that are not in my life, like on the ground. So I always get a little bit curious about, like, are people just a little bit wired a little different? Like, to the point where like, I've thought about working out since I was 14, 12, 11,
here's the thing.
9.
Only if they're saying that that's something that's important to them and that they should be doing. If you're like, I don't work out and I'm happy as fuck and I don't think I should work out, fucking do you. That's amazing. But if you're saying, hey, Sam, I'm concerned about health, to the point where I'm going to raise $27 million. I'm going to brag about raising $27 million for longevity research.
But he also says that he knows it won't be ready for him. He knows the research won't be ready for him. He says that.
But so where is there a breaking point where somebody says that stopping smoking is a good thing to do and they continue to smoke? What discontinuity, what is going on here? But
and
like,
there's things in my
going
life
on?
too I'd like to highlight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do things in my life that I wish I didn't.
Oh,
On
well,
a
so
day-to-day
we should talk about that right now. We should let me call you
It's
up. Right?
fair.
What is something in the last day or two that you did that you feel like you shouldn't be doing or you should be doing less of?
Well, I always go back to the smoking weed thing since I stopped working.
Perfect. So perfect. So why do you here say that it's something you should be doing less of, and you're not doing
Because
less
my
of?
whole life I got in trouble for things like that. So one part of me has a lot of shame. So there is a shame portion, but I'd say that's kind of all the way gone. So the majority of is because I think it affects me negatively. Not necessarily short term. Like, anyone could say what they want about how productive I'm being right now, but I blasted a bong rip before I got on here. So it's clearly not 100% productivity that's the problem. But I think doing something over and over again and expecting to have the same experience and having the same dopaminergic reaction mentally over a long period of time, I think it dampens you. I think it dampens your brain over long periods of time. And I think bad effects can come from doing something over and over again, not giving yourself a break from it, because there probably will be a point where I stop, right? And then I'm going to have to go through some like mental adjustment period a little bit.
So the idea is,
I'm being 100% honest, guys.
bro.
I'm sorry.
Thumbs up for that. You guys haven't already.
My family's watching and stuff. Like, they don't know. I mean, I've dedicated my life to being honest now. So like, it's my job to just say how it is. And I know I bring it up all the time, but I don't always bring up that I feel like it's a negative thing in my life that I'd like to stop. And I have trouble doing so.
And one of the things that, and I'm not even slightly trying to say that I'm perfect, because I have so many fucking flaws and fuck up shit constantly. So I'm not trying to say that even in the slightest.
Of course, yes, I know you pretty intimately. So I mean, I know, I know the things that you've done right and wrong.
When I go through and I clear up those things, there's literally something that comes to mind. There's a conversation I need to have with somebody in business that's straight up lying to me. And I've been putting off this conversation, and yet every single time in my life when I have those conversations, it is the space mentally that takes up is, say, 30%, just hypothetically, of the mental space. I'm just from the standpoint that if there's something like you just mentioned that comes into your mind once, 2, 3, 4 times a day, however many times it does, or even just multiple times a week, think about that, okay? This conversation, I know I need to have it, comes into my mind enough for me to fucking bring it up here, right? But also maybe once a day or once every other day or sometimes twice a day. You figure that, play that out over 90 days. You have 90 circumstances, maybe 180 circumstances where that comes into my mind. That's a lot of wasted focus and energy. Solving that issue where you have the difference between being able to, you see that it's happening, you recognize it as something you want to change, and then actually changing it gives you so much more clarity. You know how you feel way more focused about life, and you feel happier and more fulfilled right now than, say,
my whole conversation that I was having for 2 years was I needed to leave my job. And I finally did it, and you saw it, you watched it, you see how free I am now comparatively.
Now the same thing happens with weed.
Yeah, I know. No, and I've done it before too. Like, I've had this whole experience all the way through. It's more of like the habit in that period where you don't feel like doing it, where you're like, see, I don't leave my house as much anymore too. So it's like I'm just adjusting too. And I have these conversations to put pressure on myself.
Same.
Yep. So anyone could say whatever they want. You're not having these conversations because you don't want to tell yourself the truth. I tell myself the hard truth every single day because that's the reason I've gotten better at everything that I've done.
Whenever that's why we're willing to
do
this here live. Like, we don't fucking need to do this. Like, nobody needs to know your fucking business or my business.
Dude,
but this is a way to hold us accountable.
Before, but this is what I love. There's nothing I've ever felt this passionate about in my life. Never even close.
There's a couple longer comments here that I just wanted to pull up real quick. And see. So cryptographics. Do you guys think testnet ratios market is a preview of what we might see on the actual main net, or will it be completely different? I think it's going to be completely different. This is just fake money.
Well,
People
I mean, think about it. What are the chances? You got to think, what is the percentage chance that it's the same anyway? Like, even if it was to be like randomized, like zero. Because it is randomized. It's not going to be the exact same action. There's going to be more. If not, there's so much volume. People are just, there's so much test polls. All these are plebs playing around for the most part.
Think about what happens. So in Legacy, they have, you can create like, Ameritrade has one, and there's E-Trade might have one of the other ones where you can create like a fake demo account with like $50,000. And if you look at the behavior of somebody using fake money versus somebody who's using their real money, completely different. So just based on that information, I would be like, they could be similar, just happenstance, but I think they'll be completely different. Then there's another one here from Marco. Say I'm not wrong. Excuse is an excuse. If we made an excuse about crypto, that would get on your ass about it. Thank you. If I'm doing that, then fucking call me out.
When you read the comment, Sam, you read it aloud to the people.
So basically, if somebody's making an excuse, you calling them out on your excuse. Excuse is an excuse, period. And so I think he was referencing.
Oh, you're the biggest excuse caller outer, maybe on the East Coast.
Yeah, but I just don't like.
It's great. It's aggressive, and if someone's in your life, they know it's coming. I know it's coming. If I start fucking off, Sam's gonna be like, dude, I don't care if it's your show, my show, this show, that show. You're sleeping in. Like what? And same thing I would do if he started sleeping in. I'd say 0% chance this is gonna work, or like missed 2 shows and like anything like that. Sam, you know how I am. I would be way too anxious to just like, oh, Sam's busy, like, and you know that, so you're expecting. You respect what I expect, vice versa. Like that's what
I want like the difference thing from like, and maybe it's the same for other people, but I feel like it might be different than a lot of people. Like I want people to like, if I'm wrong and like obviously there's tactful ways of approaching things, but like if there's something I'm not seeing, I want people to call me out on it because that's how I'm going to learn and grow. And from my point of view, when people do that, that's where it's my opportunity to flex in terms of not like showing off, hubris, none of that. It's my opportunity to flex in terms of my ability to take what other people are saying and understand where they're coming from to see if I can learn from that. Because so many people respond with oh, this person's a scumbag. This person's just hating. They're FUD or this, that, and the other things. Like, how can I learn from what this person's saying to provide value to that person? This is how I like.
Marco is loving the honesty from Sam, and me, and we're trying to. It's hard to talk about yourself because it's hard to like extrapolate like the way you are compared to everyone else. But like when you start doing things one way and you see results, it doesn't matter what anyone else is saying. It starts to like, I'm giving myself the data now. You know what I mean? What are you doing? Sam is like a machine, but with a heart. Sam doesn't have a big heart. He's got a big heart, but doesn't have that much space in it for too many extras. Like he's gonna he keeps his people's close, but everyone else, just like me. Like I'm my mom's, my dad's, my family. Sam, bullish, never even met him, and they're my closest friends.
We're talking every day, like
they're my closest friends.
Multiple times a day,
for certain. I know more about the ins and outs of their lives and their daily emotions than I do anyone, my brother and my sister, and that's normal. I think. Like, I don't think as a grown man, like you start to do business, right? Like you don't. But if you can have business partners that are your friends, like, and you can really trust them, if you can find business partners in this world, if anyone's listening to this, never started a business, never done anything like that, the business partners you find, you have to vet them really quick. Like, I was recently in a business partnership with someone that I didn't agree with, and I've vetted it quick. I wasn't talking major shit. I just vetted it. Wasn't my style. Got out of there, right? But I could have let that go for longer, right? I kept talking. Sam, my girl at the time, everyone online. I was asking everyone, didn't add up to me. I was out. And then I immediately started the channel or whatever, like right in the middle of all that. So you got to vet your business partners, because Motley kind of taught me this, to be honest. He was like, Wendy's is my best friend. He said, Wendy's is my best friend. I said, he's your best fucking friend? Really? He's like, yes. He's like, there's only a few people I would trust with everything, and he's one of them, or something along those lines.
When you started on that talking about that, Motley was the first person that I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
of, like, because you see him and Wendy's in that chat from 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, and you can just see that they're friends. Like they're probably going to be hanging out whether they do business or not. So why not do business together? Because you're friends anyway, right? You can have those difficult conversations and all those kinds of things. So
Yeah,
it's
like
interesting.
I have
completely
to be
agree.
100% honest with Sam and Bullish. It's not always the first thing that comes to my mind to be 100%. Not like I want to lie to them, but like, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to do fucking selfish ass shit all day and do whatever I want. Like, like, but no, like I put too much pressure on myself. Now I didn't tell these guys, but we all told each other, like, we're gonna be there for each other in some way, shape, or form, unless someone says otherwise. And it's like, it's so beautiful to be able to build something naturally. Like you didn't know about crypto 60 days ago. I'm glad I didn't go to someone who's always known about crypto that didn't know me. You know everything about me for the most part. You might know more about me than anyone.
Because we have, when we
Intimate
have those
detail, maybe not
conversations,
like average detail, but like intimate detail, you probably know more than anyone. And it's just like it's such an amazing life if you build the life you want. I just built the life I wanted. I wanted people like Sam in my life, and I just found them, and they accept. Like, why not? Like a hungry young guy that wants to chat, and he's smart. Let's talk like every once in a while, So I think building your network, 2 or 3 or 4 guys is so important, Sam.
So, and it's something that, like, yeah,
You
I
struggle with
struggle
it.
with it. I agree, 100%.
I
It's
want you
still
to tell
something.
people how is in the last 10 years of your businesses and like stuff like that, where have you came in your own way, got in your own way, maybe when it comes to asking for help? I know I know what you struggle with. So like asking for help is something
So
you
he's
struggle with.
he's just giving me a softball. It's like
I'm a
calling
show
me
host,
out.
man. I'm a show host. Asking for help, partnering up, trusting
So
people.
like, yeah, there's,
And I have to fill my water up, but I can hear you.
yeah. So like, one of the things that I personally continue to struggle with is asking people for help, because I feel that I don't want other people to do something for me where there's a debt of obligation mentally. And like, even my girlfriend or anybody in my family, like, if I'm going through something, like, I will like figure it out, because I don't want to burden other people. Like, they will have their own struggles and that kind of thing to go through with. Like, I want to give and provide to other people. So the last, like, more than a decade, that's been something that I really, like, have struggled with, trying to figure out, like, not necessarily figure that out, but like, and it hasn't even been something like I just completely ignore it. But I know that it's also limited my growth tremendously, because when you're not going through and trying to, ask for the help on things, and it's not coming from a hubris standpoint where you think you're fucking special and you're like got your ego involved. It's, I don't want to burden other people. I don't want a emotional debt in the sense like there. But over the past, say, 24 months, I've really been able to understand myself more, which then allows me to understand other people more, from the standpoint that as I mentioned with the fitness challenge, I get value from helping other people. Like, if other people can make progress in their fitness journey, and recognizing that they're making progress in their health, they're making progress in their life or their relationship or making money or business, and like, I'm able to provide that to them and give to them, and recognizing, like, oh shit, Sam, like, you enjoy providing value and you get value out of doing that. And then it has allowed me to come from asking for help in a little bit different way. Not saying it's something that is super easy for me to do, because it's something I definitely still struggle with to like move forward with, like, 100%.
Yeah, and I think maybe I opened your eyes a little bit too. Like, I'm very social, very smart, and I make people feel comfortable, right? So I would help Sam in ways that he would never ask for it, but I would make him feel comfortable on the other end, that I didn't expect anything. And I was like, you're my friend. Like, I would talk through it with you, right? Like, I want you on the show. My intentions were always pure. I told you right away, let's make the best content we can. This can go far. This could do nothing. let's do this. I let you know. There was never like, if this goes big, Sam's fucking out and I'm fucking gonna move this way. Like, because that's what most business relationships are. I'd be like, if Sam's getting too popular, because Sam also came to me like, hey, I might start streaming a little more, maybe thinking like, oh, like I don't want to. And I was like, stream every fucking minute of every day if you'd like. Because
But also,
popular you are, the more popular I am, the more popular Hex is, the more popular you are. That's the abundance thing.
And what did I say to you as soon as he's like, hey, I'm gonna start streaming more? I was like, dude, I've got more followers than my shit. Like, I'll come on and I can help you grow faster. Like, this is what I'm telling him when he's saying this to me. I was like, bro, cool. I'll help you grow because I've done all this stuff. I can teach you all the stuff that I know about little details of shit, like whether it's like Instagram stories or TikTok or Facebook stuff and how to market better or just things along those lines. Because I was like, bro, I can fucking help you grow through that process.
No, I know. Like it's just combining brains that are really no ego involved. That's when you have, for men, it's very common to ask for help. To most, it makes them feel vulnerable / weak / stupid. Just a part of the ego. We all, see, I have superpowers in that way because I was in the AA community for so long, and they teach you just to freaking do. Anyone in the room will help you with anything. So you see how I always have that vibe where it's like, I'll give someone $100. I'd give someone $500 out of my fucking chest right now, and I'm broke. But I know it's coming back. I never have to worry.
Oh, I have to say thank you. So the mic, I forgot to mention earlier, somebody sent me money to purchase a mic because they know I will not take the money to go buy a mic. So somebody sent me money. So I don't know if they want me to mention the name or anything, so I'm not going to mention names or anything.
If you type it in, I'll let you know. Is it public? Is it someone that's like public normally?
I'll share it with you later.
Okay, cool. But anyway, real quick, we're going to take a little intermission again. The sign up ends midnight tonight, guys. Sign up ends. I heard Sam was going to get more. It's not possible. I extrapolated the two charts out in every way, shape, and form possible, and I am roughly 5,000 followers in less than a year.
You guys, if you want,
I've extrapolated all the Hexagon data, and I've taken from Hex.vision and
if you want to help me win the 90-day challenge, the 90-day challenge for me is to beat GRC in the total number of followers he has on Twitter. So if you want to help me win, then go over to Twitter. There's a link down below in the description of the YouTube video. Just scroll past GRC. He's got enough followers. He doesn't need more followers. Just scroll down, click on mine, and go over and press follow on Twitter so that I'll actually win this 90-day challenge. It starts tomorrow. You wanted to pull more up on the fitness challenge?
I've had 19 followers since this morning. You're right. See, bro.
He's got plenty of followers.
Dude, but I'm in those Twitter spaces all day, dude, and there's new people coming in, and I'm always following their asses and talking to them. And
so I need, what he's saying is he's got an advantage. I need your help.
No. I have made my responsibilities such that I have the time to spend in the Twitter spaces. I'll get a tweet going right now saying, actually, this tweet will inversely. I will dedicate my entire day to making that tweet inversely benefit me more. I will tag myself in it 800 times with all my tags. I'll get my whole Telegram to blow that thing. Let's blow it up. No, yes. So real quick, guys, I have to say something. I'm going to pull myself up solo real quick. Guys, I need everyone's help with something. It's very, very important. Gosh, I gotta be cool. I need bullish. I need Richard Hart to follow bullish. And it's just as simple as that. I don't know how. I don't know what we need to do. But we have the best minds in crypto here. And by the end of the day, or by the end sometime, we got to make sure, because now he's verified, I need bullish in those comments, fighting for Jim Rat. You know how many haters I got in those comments? Bullish is my main supporter and one of my best friends. Guys, I need him in the comments. Yeah, I know. He just wants to be able to add value too. And he knows a lot of shit. But no, that was more of a joke. But it'll happen by the end of the day if Motley knows anything about anything. Just kidding, guys. Again, we love bullish. Now that he's verified, we all like to comment on his shit right away because it's fun. And Richard, if you're watching this, Follow my boy Bullish Ox. Bullish Ox. Bullish OX with the O, not a zero. Or a
Super
zero,
awesome,
not a
dude.
O.
Very helpful. Also likes to provide value in the community. I think that's also one of the things that is helpful in the sense that we don't need anything. Like I'm good. Yes, I want a lot of shit, right? But I want like to give value to other people, and the authenticity of that goes through over time. We had talked about, to change the subject,
I want to be a
back to
leader.
crypto, and we started with that like looking at myself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things that I found helpful, and then I want to talk about LPs. When I was like, I journal, right? So I write down things that are like on my mind, or maybe I butt heads with my girlfriend. So it's like, Sam, why are you choosing to butt heads with your girlfriend about this topic? Is that the outcome that you like? What did you learn through this? How could you approach this in the future so that you're better, right? But is going through and defining what a leader is to me. So like, I am a leader of my life. So what does being a leader of my life mean to me? And then running down that rabbit hole of being a leader of my life is taking action on everything that I need to take action on each individual day. Being a leader is helping all the people around me grow to whatever it is that they want to achieve in their life, right? And just continuing to go through defining mentally for me what a leader is, right? It's helpful. I find it very helpful. Have you ever thought about providing LP?
No.
Why?
Because I'm too stressed out about the other variables I have already, and I haven't gone past just being, well, I got hacked and then I doubled down on security. So like now that that's all squared away, I would say I primarily will start getting into that. And then I started the show and it kind of went bananas.
I just tweeted one, Molly. But so have you ever thought you will do you think you will provide LP?
If it benefits me.
Do you think having like a monthly stream of income would be beneficial, or no?
Yeah,
not?
but I would like to know the amount before, like if I needed a certain amount to start making that, maybe over a couple hundred, over a couple $100 a month, then I'd probably start. But I'd probably try to get my capital up. I don't know. It depends. I'd need to see some numbers.
I found a calculator. I don't actually have it up. I wish I pulled it up. I don't remember what it is, but I have it on
Does
my
anyone
laptop.
have a LP calc or anything, like a resource they could give us in the comments? Please comment below. I want Sam to pitch something to me. Like I want him to, Sam, I want you to tell me why you think it might be of value of me to take maybe a small portion of my bag and maybe provide some liquidity in some certain ways, how that could benefit me, maybe strategies you would use, stuff like that. Let's go into that a little bit.
So I think if we were doing a sex show, do you think it would be valuable to have experienced sex, S-E-X, right?
Sex,
sexy, right? Or whatever. Like if we were talking about sex, do you think it would be a valuable thing to have had sex at least one point in your life to understand the context and nuances of sex?
Sure.
To be able to talk about it. That right there is the biggest reason to provide LP. Whether you do it.
But I'm also freaking have to learn Mintra. I have to learn liquid loans. I have to learn all this shit. So
where do you go? Just pick any one of them and start there. Any LP, cool. I'll put in $200 into LP in the next 2 weeks, or whatever the case is.
LP. Okay, then let's start. Where are we going? Where are you going with the cap?
So by the way, LP is super like freaking awesome.
Easy.
But V2 versus V3 on Uniswap. So V3, and I've been doing all the research myself on this because it's what hopefully by the end of today I should have a position open, where you can actually pick the area you want to provide liquidity in. So think of like on V2, which is also going to be PulseX. So it's going to work very similar on PulseX. So I read through the white paper. If you're providing liquidity, you're providing liquidity across the entire possibility set of prices. So from like 0 to infinity effectively, which means that if the stock price is here and goes like this back and forth, right, for a period of time, as it's, you know what I mean? You can think of it like this kind of thing. You are only making money with your money on this section, right? So because you're providing liquidity across the whole set of possible future prices. When you look at V3, you're able to limit that or squish that down, which allows you to be way more capital efficient. So if you were to provide liquidity and say we each had 100 grand, right? You're going to put $100,000 of liquidity in, and you put it into say V2, or you just don't set any limit in V3 Uniswap, and you do it across all the possibility sets. I could take, I could,
that. So you can basically like put it into a pool of all of them.
but it would not necessarily a pool of all the different pairs. But say if you pick ETH hacks or USDC hacks, right? And you're like, I'm going to provide liquidity to this set here of this pair. You can provide liquidity across all of those sets of possible future. Like then it would be like $1 is this many hacks, 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 right? And then the opposite direction. So you're providing liquidity across that whole entire data set of possible future events, whether they're likely or not likely. Like down to the point where zero. It's like hacks is like $1 million. And,
I'm getting there, like in my journey of understanding, for me, understanding is different than you, right? Like for me, understanding a concept isn't so much like reading, getting it down on paper once. Like I can get things down on paper many times before I pick them up, but I can also pick things up without getting them down on paper sometimes. So it's like, but I put everything on paper, but that's just not how I learn. I just do it so I don't forget to look it up more. Like but you can look at things and interpret them on the spot, which is just something that I'm not good at yet. Right.
But I think it goes back to what you said about the learning thing. Like instead of asking somebody for help to be able to give an answer probably like this, I will go through and just try to figure out myself, which means that there's nobody there helping me, and that means I have to go figure out how to interpret, like read this paper and understand what the fucking paper means. So it forces me to think about things differently, because it's like I don't want to actually ask for help, so I will go through and force myself to do it this way, to actually go through and do it.
Sorry to interrupt. Breaking news: we have the best community ever. I just got a follow for Richard Hart.
Richard, thanks for tuning in, brother.
Hey,
as always.
I want to thank everyone.
Let's go, brother.
Don't worry, I'm putting my biceps. I'm putting my biceps up. Trust me, believe me.
I'm super happy for Bullish. I'm super happy for all the people, whoever reached out on Twitter and said, hey, will you follow Bullish? He's a fucking man and very helpful, likes to provide value. Like, thank you to you guys. Thank you. That's awesome.
GRC's got pulled, bitches. Let's fucking get. No, just kidding. That was awesome, guys. That was super cool. We just want to be able to interact with the community as much as possible. Really, Bullish just wanted to be able to comment with all of us cool shit, because every time he comes out with a tweet, there's a lot of alpha there. If Bullish is thinking of something amazing at that moment and we're all like doing other shit, like you want everyone who really is a Hexican to be able to comment on there, right? Because sometimes Sam posts some shit and it's like, okay, cool. Sometimes you post some shit and maybe it's not that cool that day. But like if you're just on top of it and you have a great idea that day, he'll consider it, and anyone will consider it. And I only respect people intellectually for the most part, as far as like the way I feel about them. Obviously, I like when someone has moral goodness, but like intellectually, I do really respect Richard. I think he's smart, and I'd like to know more about what he knows.
Just posting something on Twitter, but let's go back to the LP for a second.
Look at all the biceps in the
chat.
Guys, biceps in the chat by everyone. Everyone in here throw a bicep in. Guys, we're having such a good time here. We're blowing through virality. Me and Sam and Bullish are going from the bottom to the tippy top crypto news. We're dedicating our lives to studying, being on the cutting edge, helping people do things like drink the right amount of water, exercise efficiently without ruining their bodies, have good cardiovascular health, nutrition that is easy, eating less calories. Oh, wait, and we know how to do crypto. We know how to change your life financially. We can change your life forever physically, and we do it all for free. So, Sam, and actually, I wanted to mention something about the whole free part too. Like, obviously, our crypto fitness challenge is free, but Richard Hart, this is huge, actually. Richard Hart said yesterday he thought, this is kind of, I'm just going to say what he said because he said it. He thought that maybe for the next thing that'll put, you know, on the ground. What are they called? Like conferences or like events where like they push hex on the ground, like, you know, the Million Hex Tour and like PulseCon and all stuff like that. He said that they should be charging.
I think that would be valuable. Do you think somebody who's making a $250,000 is
So
going
hold
to
on real quick. Like, I think that's a big deal because I just want to make sure, you know, everyone that charges for anything in the hex community, immediately every single hexagon freaking attacks them like a freaking piranha, to the point where they're scared to even do anything. So it's like a couple of these guys that are like big ballers like Motley are like, fuck you, I don't care. But not everyone can do that, right? Some people are little fishies and they're like, hey, I want to start a business. And everyone's like, no, you're fucking going to hell.
Well, that goes back a little bit to the ego thing, right? So some people give a shit what other people think of them. Right? You know, I don't really care that people like think of me. Like, I understand how people can think I'm a scumbag or think bad things about me, but like, what does that have to do with my life? I'm going to continue living my life. And
but Richard said directly to all the hexagons,
if you're going to start charging,
shit.
Yeah, correct.
So anyone who wants to, I'll clip it and I'll put it in my profile for the rest of the time. I don't even charge shit. I'm just saying this in general because I'm sick of people getting attacked. In the future, I might. In the future, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. But for the little guys out there that maybe can't stand up for themselves as well, stop attacking people for doing shit. If you don't want to sacrifice for their shit, fuck off and shut the fuck up. And if you have something bad about their shit to say, bring it to one of us streamers. Trust me, I love fucking bullshit drama about projects that are rug pulling. It's cool to say and it's fun. So tell me first. I'll spit it out first. If you see something wrong with the code, if you see a rug pull, if you see something going on, let me know. I'm here. I'm a resource. I will call it out, Sam. I see something legit.
100%. I agree. And what Motley says, like, you got to provide value. One of the ways you can like screen out some of the fun, just wasting time type of people and get people to pay closer attention, charge, right? You need to provide value. 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 Like, you can't say that enough. That's the only thing people give a shit about. Like, provide value. And then you can go through and start charging for that, but you weed out people who are just wasting your time. You weed out all that other stuff. Like, some of the customers that I have, like the best customers are not, they're like happy to help and they're share super interesting things with me, but they're also spending the most amount of money with me because they're like, they're the actual
I've been on the wrong side of this too, Sam, though. As far as I've talked a lot of shit about a certain couple paid groups out there. No names mentioned. No one, it doesn't matter. These guys are cool. No problems. I also overreacted. I still agree with what I said, but it's like a little bit of guerrilla marketing, a little bit of overcharging, a little bit of undervalue, just a little, you know what I mean? Like on each of those. So it's like overcrowding, a little bit of undervalue, a little bit of too much money, and then a little bit of like telling you Hex is a scam. And like, so
that brings like what is value?
But like a lot of this stuff they were saying was absolute alpha. So it was hard, you know, like these guys didn't know, they were just being egotistical.
And
at
value,
the time.
The perception of value changes as you grow as a person. And I'm saying this as in you, but it's really talking about myself, because if you look back over the last 20 years, my perception of value changed over time. So that what you're going to be able to provide to your customers, and customers could be your wife, your girlfriend, your family members, your friends, your business customers, like if you're creating content, right? Those people, the value of that can change over time, but the more you press into that, trying to provide value is awesome. Like, I want to call this out because I think this is awesome and I think you'll appreciate it, but this is Crypto Games Club 369, an OG who's been in the chat since we were basically started, I think. And took the clip, shared it over to Twitter, and then it was done. So 369 Club.
My boy Richie Rich, always staying on his computer. My guy. Hey, you know, Rich, cool dude, man. It's, you know, and for all the stuff that happened yesterday, it is cool to see like he did just like we do. Like if somebody was asking me questions about the stuff he was getting questions about, they would not like the answer. I promise. I pretty promise. Like the reality hurts for a lot of people. When I was 21 years old at 5'8" and 122 pounds, and girls would look right through me, I remember. I do remember, Sam. Everyone looked right through me. I had nothing in the tank. I was addicted to drugs. I went to the gym. Girls didn't like me. I went to the places. I was a nice guy, and they didn't know I was on drugs, certainly. But like, or, I wasn't on like, I was just being a kid, young kid. I was out of control. But anyway, and then when I got to the other side of that, I said, now I have ultimate understanding. It's like, I've seen the lowest of the low. And with life, like I've been so depressed that I never wanted to see another day of this life. And then I've been so happy that I can't imagine, like, if I died, I would be so devastated. So it's like I do reach these lows and highs too sometimes. But ever since I like quit my job and stuff and like had freedom of mind and thinking, I have never felt depressed.
It's
Not one day. Not one day.
Progress. You're making progress, right?
So like that's like a year at least. Not even one think about it. Just progress, trying to get better, thinking about how can I get 1% better. Like even if I look around my room, like thinking about how clean my room is compared to my life in general, like beforehand, like I've always had messy.
Have you thought about? So I've thought about this many times over the last 24 months because I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm retired already. But then it's like the thing that I'm like working on is like I want to increase my income more, even though I feel like I'm retired at this point, right? And then thinking about complacency, because I've seen other people talk about it and friends where I'm happy in all areas of my life, right? And want to grow in all those areas of my life, but I understand because I've seen it in other people when they get to a certain point, they get complacent. So have you thought about that? Because like being complacent is something you have to continue to feed the fire, right? If you've got like this fire inside of you to achieve these things, if you have this goal of like, I want this much income, I want a relationship to be
there's a difference between
amazing all the
fire
time.
and like business fire. Like if you want money and you want like, you could be like really addicted to like fishing and passionate and like, but you could be potentially not making money off of it. You know, those guys that work every day, but they're addicted to something else, like sports gambling. Like a lot of the guys around here, video games, perfect example. A lot of the guys around here, they're so passionate, neurotic, hyper-focused on the wrong fucking subject. You missed the mark, buddy. You're focused on Fortnite, dude. Like what? Like what are you focusing on every day, dude? Like wake the fuck up, dude. You can fuck up like that for like a year when you're like 18, 17, 16. Get that shit out of your system. If any guy who's in this room that has a PS3 or PS7 or a PS10, you should take it and fucking chop it in half. And I don't care if it's a 10 grand, 100 grand, be the best decision you ever made. Get that shit out of your house, dude. What are you doing?
It's funny.
I don't care. People used to call me a dick for saying like, people just like to do that shit. But I'm like, no, they forgot that this is one life. They missed that because we're going to die and you could die tomorrow. I died and all I did was play Fortnite.
I never understood. For me, I didn't get video games. Like I didn't like understand that. Like why people, like you said about buying a skin in a game. I never understood buying a skin in the game, but also even just sitting there for hours and hours playing video games. Not that I couldn't care that what other people fucking do. I just never clicked. I couldn't understand why people did that. It just didn't click with me because I'm like, oh man, there's so many other things that I would love to do that I want to go out and achieve, or that I want to like talk to more people, or maybe I'll go to the gym a second time. Like that was more exciting to me than like sitting down and like playing a video game. It just never, and I just being honest about my point of view. I just didn't understand that, like where that comes from in like to want to do that. I think
it's a trick. It's a distraction. People feel so emotionally like drained from doing other stuff that they don't like. Like when I wake up and start talking about the stream and studying, like I don't feel emotionally drained. But when I used to go to work, I used to be really anxious for work, very upset that I had to go there for all day. And I would actually ponder the fact that I probably would have to do that for the next decade constantly.
You're so much like calmer, but also stronger as a man today than you were 3 years ago.
The second another man stopped telling me what to do, didn't matter who it was. It doesn't matter who it is. No one can tell you what to do if you're a man, if you want to go all the way. Isn't that right, Sam?
Correct.
You can't
What are you
work for
gonna- what
someone
you-
and go all the way. Or you,
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not saying
unless-
you can't,
but
you know what I
there's-
mean?
but
You know what I
there's a
mean?
lot
In
of-
your
yeah,
field, in your field, I guess it's your field, but like when I say you can't be attached to someone, like it's like me saying if you left me, I wouldn't recover. If I left you, you wouldn't recover. If Bullish was like, man, I have to go do another job, I got to double down, do something else, or whatever. I would be like, we got to adjust. It's okay. Like life is moving on. Like, what can you do? Like, so I think it's all just about adjusting, confidence in yourself, Sam, from trial and error,
From taking, yeah, I think confidence
taking losses.
is like, if I show, because what is confidence? It's you're like, oh, that person's confident with what they do. That person looks very confident, and you're like, well, what is confidence? So confidence to me is showing up for myself in all the things that come out of my mouth or that I'm thinking about that I need to do in my life. And if I, like you said, your office, right, in your space, and hey, should I clean something else up in here? Should I change it up a little bit in your office, right?
But that was one of the things that I never did right in the day that I quit my job, and my fingernails grew back, dude. I had never once had fingernails in my life because I gnawed at them all day long. Not once have I even thought about gnawing at my fingernails today, dude. That's called mental. That's mental health, dude. I didn't even think about it though. I never thought about once, oh, if I'm not stressed out, I won't bite my nails. I never even pondered it. And then it occurred naturally. So that's like a real marker, like a real stat point of like mental health, in my opinion. Like I stopped gnawing on my fingers.
And that little thing is going to be different for everybody. 369 here, because I want to caveat what we were saying about this, because like the video games thing doesn't click for me, but like if somebody's happy and they work 9 to 5 and they got a
and successful
family and like but like maybe not everybody wants financial success, like, or maybe they
what if like if you have $1 billion and you play video games, like the conversation's a hair different.
Maybe.
Well, like if you worked your whole life and now like 2 hours a day you play video games, like because that's something you're just like you're a developer or like you've been doing that your whole life. But you know what I mean, guys. If you're a bum, lazy ass and you ain't doing shit all day except eating and playing video games and playing with your
and making excuses that you need to get this break or need to get that break, and you're still doing what he's saying, spending 2 fucking hours a day doing bullshit, take care of that. Like Crypto Games Club gets beautiful family, I'm sure. Like he's got like cars that he probably loves and doing his 9 to 5 job and plays video games. Like if you're happy and you're achieving all the shit you want, fucking do whatever the fuck you want. I couldn't care less. But if you're making those excuses and not achieving what you say you want to achieve, you want to make more money, you want a happier relationship, you want to be fit or whatever, you want to take care of your mental shit, and you're doing that, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know Games Club's not that guy. He's like super active. So like you can tell by people's act, like somebody who's like being super kind to people, going into different chats, like moderating everything. Like, you know, like clearly some people have different. I'm usually talking to the kids, 17 to 30, like people that maybe should need a little pat on the ass. I'm a little pat on the ass guy. I like giving people little pats on the ass. And I've always been upbeat. Even when I was depressed, I was upbeat because it's like, why would I present myself in public as anything but upbeat?
Correct.
So it's been automatic because I'm like, this benefits me to be upbeat. So, you know, I'll just be happy for this. Even if I feel like shit, it's like I'll go home and feel like shit. It's like I don't have to let these people know I feel like shit so they feel like shit. For what? It's just all imaginary anyway.
Let's touch back on LP stuff for a minute, and then I'm going to run. With liquidity providing in V3, I was reading through their different blog posts on their site, and the reason that you need an NFT to show that you have your LPs, so basically you're going to take your LP tokens, you got USDC and Hex, whatever your 2 pairs are, and you're going to deposit them in the pool, and then they give you a NFT. The NFT, the reason it's an NFT is because of that range, right? Like if you're going to spread your prices out where people can trade on you over this entire possibility set of future events of prices, then you're just saying, hey, between these 2 periods where 1 USDC equals this much Hex, and between this price here where 1 USDC equals this much Hex, then that your specific set is slightly different than mine, which is slightly different than everybody else's. So in order to capture that in the smart contract, it needed to be an NFT. But you can remember I was saying about if you have 100K and I have 100K and we want to earn yield. If we both put them in there and you spread it out over the whole possibility set, and I do a limited set, I earn more fees because mine's not spread over time where it's not.
I see.
My capital is concentrated, but it increases if somebody gives a shit about impermanent loss. We've already talked about this several times.
So basically, it just decreases risk, or it just decreases volatility.
It decreases but do you remember Richard Hart talking 3 streams ago? He was mentioning how somebody can exit a position in an efficient way or transfer money without like selling or something like that. And he mentioned liquidity providing and putting in limits below and above and adding it to the pool. And now I get a little bit of an understanding of what he was talking about. Because if the price is, say, directly in the middle of my screen where my face is, and I provide liquidity, and I just provide a single-sided over here or over here, when the price moves, that's like kind of using impermanent loss to your advantage to allow the trade to go through to switch your position from whatever it was into the other token. So you can use liquidity providing to enter and exit positions in different ways, and it's fascinating. Like, also if you limit the space at which you.
These dorks. God, Motley says Pokemon cards are still my guilty pleasure as well. Why you never tell me that, bro? Never could afford them as a kid. Giving up video games gave me a lot of time. Hey, Motley, thanks for being transparent. And Pokemon cards are at least better than staring at the screen. Like if you have a fuck ton of money and you want to spend it, it's just like buying a watch or buying a Pokemon cards go up in value. If you're addicted to anything, make sure it's something that beats inflation. You know what I mean, though? Like, why not, instead of being addicted to sports cars, be addicted to watches because they beat inflation? In my opinion,
I've got a bunch of baseball cards that I need to get rid of because I don't.
Yeah, and antiques, like at your house, like if you're gonna have a piece of furniture or something, like why don't you make it something you could sell when you leave for more? That's what this piece right here was like $500. Someone handmade it in DC, and I bought it for $500. But I just because I thought it was cool, and the person that made it, and maybe I could sell it for $500, $600, but I could have just bought the Nokia thing and chucked it out the window.
Oh, it'd be
not Nokia, IKEA.
It'll be a ton of fun later this year, next year, whatever, when we can go film video and go to like people who really need help and give them crypto and walk, some of those videos where people give out cash, but we can also use it to like give out crypto to people to help educate people on like, crypto space in general. That would be a ton of fun. I think this comment from T is actually a perfect way for me to segue out of here because I agree. We covered a lot of good stuff today. Great mental health content today. The young male community needs to hear this. Well done, gentlemen.
Yes, I totally agree. This is something I've been passionate about my whole life. Mental health, young men. This is something that I've dealt with passionately for years and years and years, maybe not professionally at all, but I was in the recovery community for a long time back in the day. And, my life has had many dips and turns as a kid. So I played video games. I was addicted to gambling. I was addicted to drugs.
Hexicat also has a good point here too. Just because there's always the other side of things. Dude,
kids are retiring at 13. Yeah. Okay. Give me 10 kids in the East Coast that are retiring.
The esports?
Give me 100 kids on the East Coast. And I'm not saying, but I'm just saying in general, Hexicat.
We know.
There's gifted ass kids. And yes, I would say the same thing. If you're 13 and you're coming in first place, like start streaming and make content. That's work too. But if you're not making content, like if you're playing video games and making content, dude, go at it.
And if you know somebody in the video gaming, point that way. If you know somebody in the video gaming community who makes a living playing video games and they want to come on and chat with us, let's bring them into crypto. Like,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and we'll there's amazing young men that play video games, of course. I'm giving general advice to the general broad public of people that maybe haven't gone out of their way to do anything that they felt was super special in their life yet. And that's what makes men grow faster. And in my opinion, the video game world, yes, you can make money in it. You can make money in any world, but you better be making content.
But
No,
that's
no.
not that. I think what you were referencing. Got to remember the point this way. What you were referencing is most people play video games and that their intent is not to turn it into a business or create content or make a living from it.
Well, they don't even think about those things.
They're using it as an escape to not deal with other stuff that they tell themselves they should deal with in their life, and they'll sit there and play video games instead of there's like 17 things around.
Wendy's, you don't count. You're freaking crazy. Wendy's, I actually pay for part of my college. You don't count. You're too smart at stuff. We're talking to dorks. Street Guru, yo, what up, Street Guru? How you doing? Sam, get your butt out of here. I'm gonna run this challenge and get to any comments. Anyone has comments for me, Sam?
You guys check. Yes, thank you for all the awesome comments and support from Cryptographics earlier, and Siren, she sent some stuff over. So thank you for everybody. If you guys want to check out content, I'm gonna have a video out later about what we were talking about when it comes to the hashtags of Pulse Chain and PulseX on TikTok, the Google Trends analysis, YouTube Trends analysis, hashtag usage on Instagram, and the total number of views or actually creators creating content on YouTube. So that video is coming out later today. If you want to catch it, the YouTube channel is down below. Appreciate you, GFC. I'll talk to you soon. Bullish, everybody in the comments. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. Watch this. Hit biceps in the chat. If there's enough biceps in the chat, I'll stay in for 10, 15 minutes, answer any questions, any comments. You want to comment about anything spicy, now's the time to do it. Bye, Sam. Sorry, I forgot to say bye. Guys, here's the thing. Biceps in the chat. We're going viral, baby.
Let's go.
Shit's popping, dude. Great stream, guys. Wow. Bionics, because the flesh arms ain't enough. This is better than a bionic arm. I'm getting lean, baby. The competition hasn't even started yet. I'm ready to bulk up. Let's go. How's everybody doing? Anyone who wants to come and say hi, anyone that has a fitness goal or a question or wants to talk about the fitness challenge for a minute, let's give about 3 minutes. I mean, let's give about I got to take a pee, but any questions in the chat, please leave them in there. Fitness challenge, the stream yesterday, hex price. I see there's a couple red candles on there. What's going on, guys? Red candles? Boom, 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 boom. Just kidding. I hope it red candles to 2 cents so I can buy more. Just kidding. I don't want it to go that low, but oh, that'd be nice. That'd be so nice. Some of us are still plebs, guys. Thanks, Monica. Dang. Yes, question. Best recovery supplement? I don't take any recovery supplement. I don't think. I would say just get used to working out would be the best recovery. Like stretch out all the time. I don't get sore anymore. So like, I mean, I get a little sore, but it's not. Do you carb refeed? No. I would say no. Like if depending on what I was trying to do, but I would say no. Like I would never have to do that in any situation. I try to eat my carbs once in the day. So like I eat my carbs before my workout. No matter what those carbs are, like before my workout, I mean hours and hours before my workout. Even the night before, generally when I'm losing weight, I'll eat my carbs, then I'll work out around 2. Then I'll eat protein and fats for the rest of the day. For the most part, I'll get some veggies and some fruits in there. But in general, I keep my carbs right for like the meal before I work out, whether that be 8 hours or 6 hours or 4 hours or even 2 hours for some people. I just like to fast all day, so I don't like to eat. All right, best recovery supplement is sleep. No, oh yes, sleep is the best everything. If you guys want to know more about sleep, any questions about sleep, I've had a long journey with sleep. Sleep gains is a part of my game. I love talking about sleep. I think sleep is one of those hidden things that people really don't get right. And it really separates the great, I mean, like the masters at shit, like the people that take over from the great. It's like their sleep. Like if you can be really, really rich and good at shit, and you can figure out how to get like 8 hours of like fucking delicious sleep per night, like you'll just it's just disgusting. It's like that's like the biggest steroid in history. Sleep gains, guys. Biceps in the chat for sleep gains. Only looked at the chart this morning. How's it doing? Let's check it out on Uniswap Hex.vision. Pull it up. That's aggressive, but guys, we're looking good. Support, baby. Looks good to me, baby. I hope we just go a little bounce right here. We'll get a little bounce right here. Here's your TA for the day. GRC's calling it right now. You can bet your whole life on it. Bouncy poo. We got a bouncy poo coming in right here. Boom. Boom. A little something, something. That is financial advice. Bouncy poo. I'm 52. Here we go. How much? Okay, the big question, sleep is something I really don't get right. Ooh. So I'm saying, Master Kane, we could take you to the next level in your game, bro. We can take you to the next level. Whatever level you're at now, we can take you to the next one. Terrafin up in here, being a beast. Cryptographics. I love seeing the smart guys in here because that means I'm doing good content because they like to stick around. Like cryptographics. How do you turn a minor fatty belly into a flat stomach? Well, sir, one, I don't know if you're a sir compared to your name, but sir or ma'am. So basically, if you have any body fat on your stomach, that's the last place. So hear me out, guys. Your stomach is the last place your body is going to hold fat. Your stomach, your lower back, your ass a little bit. If you're a girl, it's more your ass and your thighs. If you're a guy, it's more your stomach and your back. But like in general, the last place you're going to lose fat is right here. So if you're not lean everywhere else, you're not going to lose this fat first. So fat comes from everywhere, but the middle of your body is definitely, because I've gone all the way lean to the point where I almost had like as little body fat as a human could have. And it took just about till the end to get all my body fat out. It's really genetic, but the more muscle you have while you're lean, the easier it is to have a lean stomach. Like if you have more muscle in general, it's easier to have a lean stomach if you're getting that lean. But if you're just like kind of skinny fat anyway and you lose a lot of weight, you're going to have a base there. So it's hard to tell. But that was a bit of a rant. I'm 52. I weigh 164 pounds. I'd like to get to 152. Your height is 5'7" inches. You run 3 miles 3 times a week. Do yoga 1-2 times a week, 24 minutes. What are 3 important things I should do to lose 12 pounds? Well, you should stop eating so much, Frank. So I'd say one thing you should do is drink about, you got to drink about 1 ounce per, so depending on what you weigh, so you're weighing 164 ounces of water. You should be drinking like a gallon of water a day, roughly. I'll just do the math for you. Roughly a gallon to a gallon and a half of water a day. That will help you for sure. You should probably try fasting a little bit. If you sound like someone who's organized. You sound like someone who has maybe a good schedule, someone who's, not like a kid. And obviously by your picture, you're not a kid. So I would say like the water thing, you have to find a time where you're eating less calories. So whatever amount of calories you're eating now, you have to pin that down. So whether it's a lot or a little, you have to start finding a time where you can take some of that food out. And for most people, that's the morning. Some people can take a little bit of out of each meal, but in general, people in the United States are used to binging to a degree. So like I've found it easier to help people by just telling them not to eat until a certain point. And then that takes care of a little bit of the calories. Like if you don't eat for a certain point, you can only eat so much at one time, right? And if you're cognizant of it, you can do it really smart. So I'd say it's more about you have to understand your diet, right? You're going to have to understand exactly what you're putting into your body at least once. You don't have to do it your whole life. Like I don't count my calories that often anymore, but I know how many calories everything has in it and I cook for myself. So it's very clear to me. But at some point in the day, if you want to lose 12 pounds, you're going to have to be hungry. Figure out the best time to be hungry. Most people, it's going to be the morning with the black coffee. Drink a diet soda if you really need to, like curb your hunger. But for the most part, if you don't eat till 1 or 2 for 2 weeks straight, you won't care anymore. It won't bother you anymore. And you can adjust your diet again after that to have more. Maybe if you wanted to gain some more body mass, you would switch that up and you'd say, okay, I'm lean enough now. I'm ready to start gaining weight. Then you add that meal back. But by then, we got to get your diet to have less calories in general. Okay, that was long-winded. I hope I helped you. GRC, what's the best way you think for people to get a bag of Pulse at launch? Are you mean like ratio wise or like faucet wise? Crippled currently. Oh boy. I hope. I'm DCing. Yeah. Oh, you mean in the beginning? Yeah, like to be honest, I don't know much about the faucets and everything. I know people are going to be farming faucets and having different VPNs and different computers. Maybe I'll do that stuff. Probably not. But yeah, I'll just DCA in. So I'll be DCA into Pulse. My position in Pulse X is way, 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 way bigger than my position in Pulse. So well, guys, this has been a great show. I've been very happy with how this went. Thanks for everyone who was here. The Crypto Fitness Challenge ends today at midnight for sign up. So make sure you sign up. Go to cryptofitnesschallenge.com. Frank, I hope that helped you. If you have another specific question, obviously you could DM me. Jim Rat Crypto. I don't eat till mid or late afternoon. Fasting is something I got used to back when I was training. Yeah, so another little piece of alpha is like, guys, the less your organs do over long periods of time, the longer that you will preserve them. And obviously, that's not true if you're just eating all sorts of whack shit. But in general, if you're paying attention to your food at all, like you're eating a little bit of micronutrient dense food, you're drinking enough water, you're at least getting a 15 to 30 minutes, hopefully, of cardio per day as far as cardiovascular health. So guys, what I talk about a lot, and I'd love to talk to Richard. Richard, we got to talk about your heart health. And I got to talk about everyone's heart health. If you don't already know, he might already know, but the fact that he said he ate McDonald's, he said he wasn't happy about it, proud of it, whatever. But like at the end of the day, even if you eat like shit, so hear me out. Even if you eat like shit, there is stuff that you can prevent by understanding what's going on. So let's say somebody was like, hey, you know what? Fuck everyone. I'm going to eat like shit till the rest of I die. I would still say, dude, there are these blood tests I need you to get. Because then if there's something genetically or family history or maybe like something unexpected in your blood work or your coronary artery calcium score or too much plaque, you know what I mean? Like if there's too much plaque, if you have family history, if you figure out that you, for whatever reason, if you get a checkup and they say anything's wrong, your cholesterol, your lipid panel, just know some of this stuff can be changed, even if you just want to use medicine, like at a base level. Like I wouldn't recommend it. Like there's ways to do it naturally. You can just eat better and get cardio health. But I'm saying protect yourself, fam. I am not a doctor, never will be one, would never waste that much time learning about stuff that I can learn about by myself at my computer. So guys, clip it out and share with RH. Hey, anyone wants to clip that out and share it with RH about the heart health part, DM him if you think that's important. He might know a lot about heart health too. Like he might have all this shit done. Like some people do. It's rare. I'd say it's rare. And I'd say it's rare, but I hope so. And I hope everyone has a doctor that they can at least go to and get these tests. Once you get the tests done, bring them to someone else. They don't need, these doctors don't know how to do anything anymore. Unfortunately, not the ones I'm talking about for these specific things, like these specific things that you're talking about. You have to understand them yourself. I think it's important to understand all of these aspects yourself. They're not very hard to understand. And you can make calculated decisions based on doctors that tell us on the internet what they do. There's doctors on the internet and they tell us what they do for free. Who would have thought? Some dude can go to school for freaking 12 years, go on the internet, tell everyone his alpha in like a year. And I've watched so much stuff and I'm so happy about the internet, mind-blowing stuff. Guys, thank you so much for everything you do for me. Please smash the like if you have not. Share this out to someone you think it would like it. Any guys that are young men, young women, trying to better habits moving forward, heart health, cardiovascular disease, the #1 killer of all men. Guys, get your blood work done. Send it to Sam Stoll. He'll tell you if you have high cholesterol. Or, I mean, your doctor will tell you too, but like if you know your markers, everything will be good. I'm not a doctor. I never will be a doctor. You should never listen to GRC for any advice because he is an absolute beast.
Let's go.